Biology. The word biology means the science of life, from the Greek bios, life, and logos, word or knowledge. Therefore, biology is the science of living things. That is why biology is sometimes known as life science. Generally, biology is classified into two categories. Those are botany, study of plants, and zoology, study of animals. Category Botany, Zoology. They are study of plants, study of animals. The person who studies is called as botanist or a plant scientist, zoologist or an animal scientist. Main persons: father of botany Theophrastus, father of zoology Aristotle. Nomenclature: International Code of Nomenclature for Algae, Fungi, and Plants, ICN, replaced by International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, ICBN. International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, ICZN or ICZN code. Researches and studies includes deals with the studies of plant structure, growth and differentiation, reproduction, biochemistry and primary metabolism, chemical products, development, diseases, evolutionary relationships, systematic and plant taxonomy. Vast studies related to animal structure, formation, physiological, evolutionary and systematic and ethology. Fathers of different fields in biology. Father of biology and zoology Aristotle, botany and ecology Theophrastus, anatomy Andreas Vesalius. Taxonomy and nomenclature Carolus Linnaeus. Plant physiology Stephen Hales, plant pathology The Barry. Paleontology Leonard da Vinci, genetics Gregor Johann Mendel, medicine Hippocrates. Cytology Robert Hooke, modern embryology von Baer, immunology Edward Jenner, modern paleontology Cuvier, antibiotic Alexander Fleming, blood circulation William Harvey, blood groups Landsteiner. Green Revolution Norman A. Borlaug, Indian Green Revolution M.S. Swaminathan. Indian Paleobotany Birbal Sahni, experimental genetics T.H. Morgan, Birdman of India Salim Ali. Founder of embryology C.F. Wolf, characteristics of life. Living things are composed of matter structured in an orderly way where simple molecules are ordered together into much larger macromolecules. An easy way to remember this is GRIMNERDC. All organisms grow, respire, interact, move, need nutrients. Excrete, waste, reproduce, death, cells. Made of. Living things are sensitive, meaning they are able to respond to stimuli. Living things are able to grow, develop, and reproduce. Living things are able to adapt over time by the process of natural selection. All known living things use the hereditary molecule, DNA. ADUCATI on KAADA. Biological evolution. It is the process through which the characteristics of organisms change over successive generations, by means of genetic variation and natural selection. Microevolution is defined as changes in gene frequency in a population from one generation to the next. A population is a group of organisms who interbreed with each other. Macroevolution is evolution on a big scale, the descent of many species from one common ancestor over billions of years. Origin of life. It is generally agreed that all life today evolved by common descent from a single primitive life form. All known organisms share certain general properties, and to a large degree these properties define what we mean by life. Scientists disagree about where life started. The atmosphere of the early Earth was rich in hydrogen, providing a ready supply of energetic electrons with which to build organic molecules. The Miller-Urey experiment, experiments attempting to duplicate the conditions of early Earth produce many of the key molecules of living organisms. Theories about the origin of cells. The first cells are thought to have arisen spontaneously, but there is little agreement as to the mechanism. The earliest cells, the earliest fossils are of bacteria too small to see with the unaided eye. In 1924, when Alexander Oparin reasoned that atmospheric oxygen prevented the synthesis of the organic molecules. Organic molecules are the necessary building blocks for the evolution of life. In his The Origin of Life, Oparin argued that a primeval soup of organic molecules could be created in an oxygen-less atmosphere through the action of sunlight. Around the same time, J.B.S. Haldane also suggested that the Earth's prebiotic oceans, which were very different from what oceans are now, would have formed a hot dilute soup. In this soup, organic compounds, the building blocks of life, could have formed. This idea was called biopoiesis. Fundamental properties of life. Cellular organization. All organisms consist of one or more cells, complex, organized assemblages of molecules enclosed within membranes. Sensitivity. All organisms respond to stimuli, though not always to the same stimuli in the same ways. Growth. All living things assimilate energy and use it to grow, a process called metabolism. Plants, algae, and some bacteria use sunlight to create covalent carbon-carbon bonds from CO2 and H2O through photosynthesis. This transfer of the energy in covalent bonds is essential to all life on Earth. Development. Multicellular organisms undergo systematic gene-directed changes as they grow and mature. Reproduction. All living things reproduce, passing on traits from one generation to the next. Although some organisms live for a very long time, no organism lives forever, as far as we know. Because all organisms die, ongoing life is impossible without reproduction. Regulation. All organisms have regulatory mechanisms that coordinate internal processes. Homeostasis. All living things maintain relatively constant internal conditions, different from their environment. ADUCATI on KAADA. Heredity. All organisms on Earth possess a genetic system that is based on the replication of a long, complex molecule called DNA. This mechanism allows for adaptation and evolution over time, also distinguishing characteristics of living things. Evidence from connecting links. Connecting links between groups. Virus living in non-living organism. Euglena protozoa plants and animals. Balanoglossus chordata. Invertebrates and chordates. Peripatus. Anthropoda, arthropods and annelids. Neopalina, mollusca, annelids. And molluscans. Protopteris, lungfish. Fishes. And amphibians. Chimera cartilaginous and bony fishes. Theories of evolution. Lamarckism, Lamarckian inheritance. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck was a French scientist who developed an alternative theory of evolution in 1801 and 1809. His theory involved two ideas. 1. A characteristic which is used more and more by an organism becomes bigger and stronger, and one that is not used eventually disappears. 2. Any feature of an organism that is improved through use is passed to its offspring. ADUCATI on KAADA. Darwinism. The theory of evolution by natural selection, first formulated in Darwin's book, On the Origin of Species, in 1859, is the process by which organisms change over time as a result of changes in heritable physical or behavioral traits. As Darwinism became widely accepted in the 1870s, caricatures of Charles Darwin with an ape or monkey body symbolized evolution. Mendelian inheritance. It is inheritance of biological features that follows the laws proposed by Gregor Johann Mendel in 1865 and 1866 and rediscovered in 1900. Genetic drift.